tax that President Biden mentioned, a tax on oil companies' profits? Are you for that?
I haven't looked at exactly what he wants to do. I think the fact that oil companies are making huge profits and having stock buybacks right now, while average person here is paying nearly $4 a gallon, I think that's wrong. And I think we need to crack down. We need to crack down on that.
We're going to move on. We're going to move on, but.
Hey, sign me up for $4 a gallon. Jesus, we're not saying $4 a gallon, but still. You see Tim Ryan making the point there at a Fox News audience when he's talking at this town hall. He's basically facing off with JD Vance, who had his opportunity as well to speak to the audience. Let's take a glance at that audience that they were speaking to, because Aaron Rupart did want to point out for sure that he said, say what you want about Fox, but they do have a diverse audience there. Maybe he won them over. Tim Ryan still dove inside. So the two of them, JD Vance versus Tim Ryan, they did square off on a couple of issues though. One, of course, was the question of January 6th and the Capitol riot. Yes, we're still discussing whether or not that existed or not. Let's let them talk.
Definition, when you say that the MAGA movement should be killed and confronted, who's in that category?
The guys who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, they are the lead. They stormed the Capitol on January 6th. They beat up 140 police officers, killed one. Okay, they killed one. We all watched the video. We all watched the video, and JD Vance raised money for the insurrectionists. He made several social media posts to raise money for them. Now, again, I don't care what your politics are, but Americans should say no. We have to say no to that.
We're going to try to get as many questions as.
Tim Ryan continued engaging in the fight, but really fast, Ben, there's more to this. But there was a bit of a switch there that we saw. First, it was, you saw what happened on January 6th. Boo, liar, what are you talking about? I'm not sure what they said he was lying about. Because again, is it that we don't think it happened? Did we think this was a cartoon? Or did they still push the narrative of it was someone else? I don't know what they're booing. But of course, when he brings up the actual facts of, hey, your guy that you wouldn't boo over this, he raised money for those same people that injured and tried to kill police officers. Do you agree with this guy? You have to confront them with what it is they think they're supporting.
Yeah, I think they were booing the fact that the officer didn't die on location, but died the next day from being beaten, which you see how desperately they're trying to twist their minds to excuse a straight up violent, murderous coup attempt on the US government. It is insane that they agree. The very next statement, we got to say no to this, and a lot of the crowd applauds. Okay, fair enough. We got to say no. But for the record, they didn't kill him live in the moment. They mostly killed him, and he died the next day. We're gonna give every possible bit of rope, pun intended, to toss out to these murderous, violent idiots that tried to take down our government and stop the transfer of power for the first time in American history. And that's why, as you said, JR, it is essential that people realize if they ever want Republicans to win office again in the future, to any Republican seeing this, or anybody who has sway over a Republican in your life, if you ever want a Republican to win office in the future, if you ever want Republican values to still be part of the national discussion and not become just 1,000,000% laughing stock beyond what it is now, you have to vote Democrat up and down the value this Tuesday, November 8th in the midterms, as at least a repudiation against evil, at least a repudiation against people that no longer want to debate political issues, but instead want to say no matter how far to a disgusting hole of pitiful, disgusting, evil, murderous behavior that party falls, we will go with them. Is that you? Are you somebody who's willing to support murderers and liars and anti-democratic, greedy, evil SOBs that are willing to take the country underwater just so they can get richer and get more power and line their pockets more with their evil doings? That's what you vote for when you vote for any Republican whatsoever on November 8th.
It's what the party's been pushing this the whole time. And honestly, Tim Ryan challenged my thought of just leave it alone. There's no reason to go and try and talk to folks that don't want to hear you. But there's this pack mentality, as you can see. If their actual beliefs are posed in front of them and they have to address them, they might have a second of saying, but yeah, that doesn't really make any sense because they've never been confronted with it. It's just a shouting, a bunch of folks shouting this one particular point of view without any thought process. And he gives them that opportunity, but you have to stay calm.
That's
I'm not
why
so good at that. That's
you have.
problem.
I know. You do have to stay as calm as you can, but you have to go into the lines. Then that's why I go in and debate Tommy Lahren multiple times and Charlie Kirk and come armed with facts. And I stay as calm as I can. I do swear occasionally, but I swear in a calm-ish tone that keeps it a little bit copacetic. But you have to talk to these people. Not everybody wants a diverse. You showed a shot of the audience. In fairness, some of them were off-white. Some of them had maybe done a little gardening. So you got to give them a little credit. But you got to talk to any group, whether it's white, off-white, and explain to them the idiocy of their own beliefs by making sure in the moment they cannot argue your point. And if you don't go in there, these algorithms and these echo chambers will keep people siloed and we will get splintered further and further in this country. I mean, straight up, we are in a civil war. We're in a civil war. I mean, it's not the same kind of civil war that we had back when we had to all take up arms in two separate armies and fight in the fields. But we have one side that is
they're promoting that type of energy, though. That type of energy of the violence is being promoted from these attacks to the rhetoric behind it. The rhetoric was happening, of course, when Trump was here, and actually it was before that too. But he's the one who mainstreamed it, and we were like, this could get bad. And although it's been several years since when he was even running in the first place, we're still here. And people like say, don't keep talking about Trump. Trump keeps talking about Trump, and there's people that are still living their lives based off of everything he says.
Right, he has not gone away. He is still inciting violence constantly. He's reposting QAnon theories, and then a QAnon man breaks into Nancy Pelosi's house and beats her husband, who's an elderly man, with the hammer. And they're saying it's not happening. And how else is it a one-sided civil war? Well, what happens during war? Snipers kill people from rooftops, and then we now have to live in fear of being killed at parades and at schools from snipers literally on rooftops or breaking into buildings. And then you had 1 million deaths, many hundreds of thousands of those unnecessary due to that one side, this misinformed, anti-knowledge, anti-American side of this country that refused to wear masks or follow science or do anything to protect their fellow citizens, and instead coughed in their face, refused to protect even with simple sacrifices. So what more do you need? You've got 1 million deaths, you got snipers on rooftops, you have people breaking into your homes with political agendas on one side of it. What else do you need? And you have a leader that is saying, do more of it, calling the people running for Congress, saying the only way to win, keep pushing the big lie, keep pretending that I won the election and your elections don't matter and democracy goes away, literally creating their own system of government as well. That is every piece that you need. The only thing that makes it not a full-on civil war is that we're not fighting back, we're just letting them kill us.
Pay attention to the way the narratives are after these midterm elections. See if they're still talking about those same things. I want to keep pointing out before we get there, all these culture war issues that they're pushing to fool people into thinking that they're on their side, many of these conservatives. Find out how much they're talking about it once it's over, especially if they're successful in any kind of meaningful way in these elections.